Good morning and welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. This morning we're talking about House Bill 74, a proposal that would require insurance companies to cover the cost of hearing aids for children. That certainly would help 7-year-old Hayden McKenzie's family. Hayden started to lose his hearing when he was 4 years old thanks to repeated surgeries to treat a disease affecting his middle ear. Now Hayden needs a hearing aid to hear properly, but his mom says the cost is too much.
We make too much money to do the Medicaid route, and we can't use them. You can't get any kind of supplement, so it's just all out of pocket. And $6,000 is a lot of money.
$6,000 is a lot of money. Hayden is one of approximately 2,000 children here in Georgia who are candidates for hearing aids but do not qualify for Medicaid. The McKenzie family is one of thousands here in our state that are now struggling to help their children reach their fullest potential through the use of a hearing aid. Peter and Scarlett Giles are parents of 3-year-old Amelia, who has hearing loss in both their ears. Good morning to the both of you, first off, and thank you for coming on and kind of telling your story. You have 3 children, 2 of them with progressive hearing loss. Scarlett, I'll talk to you first. When did you first find out that your child had hearing loss?
She failed her newborn hearing screening in the hospital, and it took a couple months of going back and forth and trying to figure out what was going on. But at 3.5 months old, she had the ABR brain test that determined for sure she has bilateral sensorineural hearing loss.
Now, what did the doctors do? What did you guys do at that time if she was 3 months old?
Well, when we found out the news for sure, the diagnosis, it was a shock, and we had no knowledge of the subject. So it took a little while to process and to figure out what path we would take, and to figure out what technology there was out there for us to.
And Peter, I'll bring you in here. So suddenly you find out another one of your children also suffered from hearing loss.
Yeah, at that point, we found out Colin, our older son, had some hearing loss after Amelia. We said we need to get our other kids checked. And there was that feeling of guilt, I think especially with Scarlett at that moment of we missed something. We're fortunate right now that Colin doesn't have to have hearing aids. He has an IEP at school and gets some speech therapy there. But at any day, he could lose his hearing, and we could end up needing another pair of hearing aids in the family.
So much of this comes down to cost. The technology is out there. The hearing aids are out there. But we are talking about $6,000 for a pair of hearing aids for a child who is born into this world with progressive hearing loss. That is certainly a big bill to pay. I mean, for anybody who doesn't qualify for Medicaid. I mean, there are qualifications in order to get that. How has that impacted your family?
Well, first, it was just an overwhelming amount of stress. I felt that I didn't even really have a period of time to mourn, so to say, for Amelia. It was just go straight to business. How are we going to pay for this? Because we found out the same day that insurance wouldn't cover it. And then realized any other means weren't going to cover the hearing aids either. So it's like, where can I cut to pay this?
What did your insurance company, either one of you can take this, what did your insurance company say when you called them up on the phone, as anyone would, right? You have a son or a daughter who has hearing loss. You're like, the first thing I'm doing, I'm calling my health insurance because I'm going to the doctor and I need to get hearing aids. What was the insurance's response to you?
Well, I was kind of prepped for no, because that's what our audiologist told us. And so when I called them up and said, are you going to cover it? They said, no, this isn't covered under
Not
your
even
plan.
a little bit?
Not even a little bit.
A percentage?
Nothing. And so it didn't even know how to proceed.
Right.
It's just...
Because, see, we're a middle-class family, so the fact is we don't qualify for Medicaid.
Right.
So we make too much money for that, but we don't make enough money to
afford $6,000 in a hearing aid.
Yeah.
So
all right, so basically the incredible part of your story is this community that you live in rallied around you guys.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I had been at Wheeler High School for 9 years. They had seen me grow up. I started there when I was 22 years old. They saw me get married. They saw me have 3 kids. So they are my family. Secretly, they went, when they found out we had troubles, and raised money for our family. They had the students giving money, their students' families, teachers, athletics, the different sports, clubs. Everybody came together, and I got called one day into my principal's office, Dr. David Ciprani, and he told me that the school and the community had raised over $4,000 for my family to get Amelia's hearing aids, and it just gave me chill bumps. Still to this day, talking about it does. I broke down there and just was speechless. It was amazing. Still thankful to this day for them.
What is life like for Amelia now that how are the hearing aids and how is the quality of life for you as a family?
She's in the Atlanta Speech School, so she does require therapy every day for speech. With her hearing aids on, she's hearing what we all are hearing, so they're very, very, very beneficial.
What do you do about your son, though?
Right now, he has high sensory frequency hearing loss, so at this time he does not need hearing aids, but he's in the progressive category, so as it slides, he would need hearing aids.
He's going to need
so
hearing aids.
He's just monitored right now.
What do you say to lawmakers? Have you guys gone and talked to lawmakers yet? You have. What is their reaction when they hear your story?
They themselves sometimes are shocked that it's not covered. They didn't realize that this was a loophole in the system.
Did they say they're going to try and get rid of that loophole?
Well, and as talking to a couple of them, they've said they support our efforts.
House Bill 74.
Yes, and as Sarah and Kelly had just mentioned, you know, we're in that kind of wait and see with the mandate committee right now, and hopefully things can get moving there and benefit not even just our family, but all the families in the state that need this help.
Right. I mean, you know, so often we're hearing about Obamacare and we're hearing about health care just in general, and it's such a divisive issue between Republicans or Democrats. Is that not what you're seeing down there at the state capitol? Is it Republicans and Democrats almost all agreeing on this one thing?
Yeah, I think when they look at the financials of it and how little it will cost any insurance payer right now, I think the estimates are about 25 cents a year.
Wow.
And it's kind of a no-brainer at that point of
Right,
it will save the state money in the long run due to special education cost.
Right, absolutely. Thank you very much, you guys, for coming
you.
up here on the show. Always keep in contact with us. Good luck with you on this crusade to get something done.
Thank you.
Again, I say this, I've already said it this half hour, I just think it's unfathomable that this is not covered by health insurance, and shocked at the fact when our producers said, hey, we're doing a story on hearing aids for kids because it's not covered by health insurance. All of our reaction is, what?
Yeah.
How can
And
that
that's
possibly
how most
be?
people feel.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Stay
Thank
with
you.
us. Still to come this morning, we're going to sit down with Julie Feinberg, a pediatric audiologist at the Atlanta Speech School. She testified in front of the House Insurance Committee about House Bill 74. It's the bill we've been talking about this morning. Why she thinks this bill is a necessity in our state. That story is coming up next.